living longer, living healthier, living better than ever before. Welcome to Mountain Pacific's Healthy Living for Life, a weekly series that gives you the information, education, and expert insight you need to become an active participant in today's ever-changing healthcare climate. Here now is today's program host.
All our lives, we make choices. What to serve for dinner, where to go on vacation, and what to do with the weekend. As we age or become disabled or critically ill, a lot, if not all of our choices, end up getting made by others. Today, we talk about advanced care planning and what you can do today to make sure your choices will be honored tomorrow. I'm your host, Beth Brown, and this is Healthy Living for Life, a show dedicated to helping you do just that. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Today's first guest is Alice Hinshaw from Hinshaw Law Firm here in Helena. Welcome, Alice. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So today's show is trying to give folks an idea of advanced care planning. Can you start out by just giving us an overview of what that involves?
Advanced care planning means planning for the future and planning for your care. It generally involves legal documents, and it's a way for you to state your wishes and have those wishes carried out eventually for your caregivers and family.
And so making sure that those wishes are carried out, that people know what those are, especially if you're not physically able to communicate, that takes a bit of planning, right?
True.
So can you talk a little bit about how our viewers can make sure their wishes are honored?
Sure. Advanced care often relates to advanced directives or advanced planning. So when we plan estate planning, we include documents such as a living will and a durable power of attorney for health care. Those are also known as advanced directives, and there's two documents or one combined.
Okay, and so are living wills and advanced directives the same thing?
Living will is part of the picture. So advanced directives, for example, in Montana, we usually use a living will and a durable power of attorney for health care. In Wyoming, they generally have a combined document called the advanced directive. So yes, it's part of the entire picture.
Okay, and so what does a living will do?
A living will is the document that is your communication with your medical provider. So it's telling the medical provider, when I get to a certain stage in my life, when I am faced with an incurable disease or irreversible illness, or suffer from something that I'm not likely to recover from, then I choose to withhold certain life-sustaining treatment.
And so does that include a do not resuscitate or a DNR?
Our standard document does not include that. That comes more into play with the doctor's orders and the doctor directive. The standard living will is more about nutrition, hydration, medications, life-sustaining treatments.
Okay. And then I understand too that some states have online registries for advanced directives. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Montana has a registry for the directives, and that you can put those on yourself. You can submit those to the registry. Your legal counsel or healthcare provider can assist in placing those, and that is a central repository for those documents where your healthcare providers can access those wherever you are and get the documents that are necessary to know your wishes for your care.
And that's why it's a good idea to have those online, because you never know when or where something might happen.
Very much.
Okay, great. And so when you're putting these documents in place, do you need witnesses for that?
Well, it varies a little bit with Montana and Wyoming. Yes, you need witnesses on the living will and a notary for the living will document in Montana. And for the durable power of attorney, you want to have it notarized. You don't necessarily need the witnesses. Now, in Wyoming, I believe generally it's combined into the one document. And there you can either have two witnesses or a notary on the document. And I think the only other difference is, I believe in Wyoming, the living will, the withdrawing life-sustaining treatment, is not valid, not operative during pregnancy.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that durable power of attorney for healthcare. Can you talk about what a durable power of attorney does?
Sure. People, when they're doing life planning, sometimes they do a durable power for business and a durable power of attorney for medical. Those shouldn't be confused. So today we won't be talking about the business power for contracts and so on. Today we're talking about the medical, where you set forth your values in life, your wishes, what's important to you, and the most important part, I think, is to assign a person, to nominate a person to make the decisions and have full authority. When you are unable to make those decisions, someone can follow through on your directives for you.
Okay, and that's sometimes called an agent.
That's an agent, and also we often recommend, most people have a successor agent. So you have your agent, and if that person is unable or simply can't bring themselves to act under those conditions, you have a successor agent that steps in, and that person then has full authority to make decisions for you.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit more about that? What are some of those decisions, or what does the agent have access to that can help a person who's in a situation who needs that support?
The agent has access to anything that the patient does. So all documents, all medical records, all information, even things that are covered by HIPAA. So also the powers that you give when you're doing a medical power is to hire and fire medical care, to go into a hospital, to find palliative care, to agree to certain surgical procedures. And there are a few other things, like nominating a guardian. So in this document, often you say, if a guardian is needed eventually in my life at any time, I nominate the agent that's named in this document. So it's comprehensive. There's a lot of things in it.
Okay, great. We're going to take a quick break, but Alice is going to stick around. We hope you will too. We're going to talk about Pulse and the protections they offer right after this.